Within maybe a minute or two, the victim was up walking around at the scene, where just a minute or two before, he was, for all intents and purposes, he was deceased. So I think that the Narcan did play a role in reviving him. My name is Steve Foster. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the Georgia Cybercrime Center. Been with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation since 1995, so I'm in my 27th year with the GBI. I've spent most of my time in the Thompson Regional Office and in the Crime Scene Program, and have been with the Georgia Cybercrime Center since 2018. On March 18th of 2022, I was leaving my job at the GBI Cybercrime Center here in Augusta. And because of traffic and bad weather, I actually took a route home that I never normally took. And as I turned onto Bobby Jones Expressway in Augusta, I noticed some traffic on the shoulder of the road opposite from where I was. As I got closer to the traffic, thinking that it might have been a minor traffic accident, I noticed that there were two women performing CPR on a man that was lying on the roadway. I immediately turned on the emergency equipment in my car and went into the southbound lanes to block traffic and to see how I could assist. As I got out of the car and noticed the two women that were doing CPR, one was giving rescue breaths and one was giving chest compressions, they immediately asked for a CPR mask, which I had in my vehicle. And as I went to retrieve the CPR mask, one of the people on the scene asked if I had any Narcan, that they suspected that the victim had been the victim of a drug overdose. And of course, we carry Narcan in the GBI vehicles, so I went back to retrieve my Narcan. As I went back to where they were working on the victim on the roadway, I noticed that he didn't appear to be breathing. His face had turned purple, and it looked like a very dire situation. They had told me that the sheriff's department had been called, that the fire department was on the way, but that they needed to continue doing what they were doing with CPR. As I got to the victim, I told, who appeared to be a nurse at the time, I told her that I had Narcan and was going to give the victim Narcan, at which point we did. And we initiated the Narcan. They resumed CPR. I started helping with chest compressions, and within probably one cycle of chest compressions, the victim started breathing again, and he was revived. What was interesting about this was at about that time, the fire department was arriving, and within maybe a minute or two, the victim was up walking around at the scene, where just a minute or two before, he was, for all intents and purposes, he was deceased. So I think that the Narcan did play a role in reviving him. And what was also impressive was you had two women that were just going about their business that day, that saw somebody that had that need and selflessly stopped on the side of the road to give CPR for the man that needed that, and without a doubt saved his life.